You know how when you're a kid, there are just certain things that everybody in your generation just accepts as truth? For mine, it was these three things. One, the Bermuda Triangle. This was a dangerous place. If you ended up there on a ship or in a plane, you had a very serious risk of disappearing and never being heard from again. The second one is black holes. Very similar to the Bermuda Triangle. If you went near a black hole, you could get sucked in and end up anywhere, or even worse, nowhere. But it was a risk that we all knew we would one day face. And the reason is because space travel would one day be a very common thing. And the third, secret passageways. I swear everybody in my generation grew up believing that we would all have a house with a secret passageway and we would rely on that secret passageway. Well, I just finished reading a book called The Book of Doors, and it really brought back all of that magic from my childhood about the secret passageways and hidden doors. And I'm going to talk about that book. But I also want to talk about why we are so fascinated with hidden doors and secret passageways. If you want to go straight to where I talk about the book, just follow the timestamp. But if you wait a few minutes and hang out with me, we're going to talk about secret passageways in general. I'm going to share a little bit of history and some interesting tidbits. I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, so the start of all of this magic is childhood, right? I remember that when I was a kid, my absolute favorite TV show was Scooby-Doo. If you're part of a generation that was raised on Scooby-Doo, then of course you are going to love secret passageways too. You know why? Every other episode featured a bookshelf that, if you pulled just the right lever, would swing open and reveal a secret passageway. I'm just saying, we all loved secret passageways. And then we also had The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And that closet, that one right there was true magic. Can you imagine going through the closet to the back wall, only there's not a back wall. You come out in a magical world. Who doesn't want that, right? Funny story. My grandfather had a closet in his bedroom where I remember if you went through to the back to the wall and then you turned right and you make a left again at the next wall and it would take you out through the bathroom. And in my childhood brain, that was an actual secret passage. And I loved it. It was my own kind of little imaginative Narnia. And I would play in there and play Narnia. And then actually, when I was a little bit older, about 10 years old, I made friends with a girl whose father was an architect. And I remember when I went to her house, she showed me childhood luxury. Her father had actually built a secret passageway. I mean, not even kidding, a true secret passageway that connected her bedroom to her sister's bedroom through a hidden shelf in the wall. I mean, I am not even kidding. You could open that shelf up, go into the wall behind it, and then walk to her sister's bedroom. That right there, I think, fueled my love for secret passageways. So, of course, secret passageways and hidden doors are not only the things of children's imaginations, right? If you think all the way back to ancient Egypt, the pyramid builders had secret chambers, secret passageways, hidden doors, all of it, right? But theirs was kind of an early security system. The whole purpose was to protect the pyramids from grave robbers. And then we can follow this idea of protection into the Middle Ages, where we have kings and nobles having secret walls and hidden staircases, all leading into underground passageways. And the purpose for them was to have an escape route in case somebody invaded the castle. Following this line of security, we can move into Elizabethan England, and there we find priest holes. Have you heard of those? That's where you had false walls and little hidden compartments. And this was during the time of the Catholic persecutions. They were built specifically as hiding places, and they're called priest holes because it was a place that the priests could hide in a house, and hopefully the soldiers wouldn't find them. In the United States, we first start seeing these secret passageways, hidden doors, trap doors, false walls, And these were all part of the Underground Railroad system. And that was to help hide people who were trying to escape slavery and head north. So really, we see all of these secret passageways as, like I said before, early security systems. And really, they meant safety and life and freedom itself. And they do start, of course, weaving their way into our imagination and into our stories. I am thinking right away of The Secret Garden. That was in, I believe, 1911. It wasn't exactly a secret passageway, but it was a place right, just right out of you, that you opened this door, you went through this place into this whole magical area that was nobody else knew was there. And then you can think like 1930s, we had Nancy Drew, and that's where you started seeing the hidden staircases, and I think it was like hidden compartments and clocks. So just really interesting things. Of course, we get into the 1950s and we have Narnia, the master of all secret passageways. But you can follow the line all the way into modern times, and now we have Harry Potter. So if you think about Harry Potter, I mean, even to get to Hogwarts, it's a secret platform. And then Hogwarts itself has all the secret passageways and staircases that move. It just follows in a long line of tradition. So when we get back into the book I just read, and the reason for this video, we have the Book of Doors. It's tapping into that line of tradition where you've got hidden doors for safety, but also it captures the imagination and makes us curious. Curiosity killed the cat, right? Honey was making noise, so I decided to go grab her. I'm sure she's not going to stay here for very long. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about curiosity in general. Psychologist George Lowenstein discovered that curiosity creates a kind of tension in our brain, and discovering something that's hidden can actually release tension in our minds. So it's no wonder that we like games like hidden object games or escape rooms, things like that. And then speaking of doors, Carl Jung actually said that they were symbolic of transition, going from one stage of life to another, and that you can see that in stories like Alice in Wonderland. And, even in Harry Potter, you can see that kind of transition and stepping into a new life when you go through a threshold. So in Harry Potter, he steps across the secret platform into the world where everything in his life changes. So it's no wonder that we like this kind of story. Getting back into the Book of Doors, I kind of want to just go over a little bit of a summary now and talk about the Book of Doors. We are following Cassie. She is a young woman who has acquired a magical book. And of course, we're going to learn with her what this magical book is. We're going to discover some of the dangers that come with owning a magical book. And really, it's going to be part adventure story, part mystery, and honestly, a little bit of a love letter to books in general. I found it to be a really light and fun read. I enjoyed it right from page one. It got a little bit predictable towards the end, but overall, all the ideas were fresh and new to me. It is definitely a magical book, but it was told in such a way that it was easy to suspend disbelief and just kind of go there and be what if with this book. I liked all the characters and the ideas were playful. So honestly, I really just enjoyed this book. It was just a good book. So what I want to know from you guys is, did you ever dream of a secret passageway as a kid? Or did your generation have something different? But I'm sure you all had something magical that inspired you, and I would love to know in the comments what it is. Thanks for joining me today.